Hard to believe, but the Penguins haven't won 3 successive road games since early November. They can equal that tonight in Calgary. Part of the reason they've won the last 2 is that they've allowed just 1 goal in those 2 games. And with the offense struggling the way it's been, having scored only 4 goals in the last 4, they have to play good defense in order to win. There's more than one way to win a hockey game.
He was drafted first overall back in 2003, a butterfly goaltender from Quebec province in Canada. Meanwhile, the guy he'll be facing tonight, never drafted. He's also a butterfly goaltender. He's from Switzerland. Jonas Hiller and Marc-Andre Fleury go head-to-head tonight as the Pittsburgh Penguins meet the Calgary Flames. Hello again, everybody, with Bob Arie and Paul Steigerwald. Tons of fans gathered around down below tonight around the rink as the Penguins took their warm-up because they wanted to see the Penguins superstars.
Yeah, they certainly did, and they got a good look at them in warm-up and the cheers as they jumped onto the ice. And Malkin, he got some cheers and some jeers in Edmonton after missing 5 games, got the game-winning goal, his 20th of the season. He's accomplished that feat. 7 of 9 seasons in the National Hockey League has Gino. Sidney Crosby, they call him a hero here in Western Canada, and Sidney Crosby 1 point more than Gino on the season, and for 87, his 4th time to Western Canada, to Calgary, in fact, in his long career.
Well, Mark Giordano of the Calgary Flames has been the guy everybody's been talking about because he's been leading the league in scoring among defensemen for most of the year as the Norris Trophy guy. But we have one in Pittsburgh and would like to think that maybe he'll be the leading candidate by the time it's all over.
Well, has anybody been better for the last 15, 20 hockey games? No. Chris Letang has assisted on 8 of the last 9 Penguin goals. And he got a goal against Calgary in the only meeting between the 2 teams where Crosby did not play, by the way. Mark Giordano, undrafted. You talked about Hiller. This man's undrafted, leads their team with 43 points from that backside. Big plus numbers for Mark Giordano, a good two-way defenseman.
Well, they say good things come in small packages. We were talking to Johnny Gaudreau of the Calgary Flames today in the locker room. I asked him, how tall are you really, Johnny? Are you really 5'9"? And he couldn't really compute it, Bob. He wasn't willing to admit that he's any shorter, but I've heard he's 5'6".
Well, he couldn't figure out centimeters to inches, Staggy. I think that was the problem. He's got 39 points on the season in 51 games. He went to the All-Star game. By the way, 0 penalty minutes. How do you do that?
Especially when you're 5'6" or 5'9". In just a moment, Chris Letang will visit with Dan Potash. We talk a lot about Letang's numbers, but how about the defense he's been playing for the Pens? Dan Potash visits with him in just a moment.
Well, the Penguins' trek through Western Canada continues tonight with a stop in Calgary, and historically, that's been a good thing since the boys have not lost here since 2003. It's the Pens and Flames here on Root Sports, and this could also be a Norris Trophy showdown between yourself and a certain number 5 of the Calgary Flames. Won't talk about him, let's talk about you. 18 points in your last 13 games. What's behind your recent success?
I think keeping it simple. We had tons of injury. We didn't have a great month, but I think trying to play simple, simplify things for myself. Don't try to put too much on my shoulder, and I think that's the way it goes.
The Flames like to block a lot of shots, which could lead to their transition game. How do you keep them from going the other way, if you will, with the puck?
Well, first of all, yeah, they're blocking shots, but they're fast in transition with their D. Their D are always in the rush, so you want to manage the puck, make sure you don't turn it over, you finish their check. I think that's the way to go.
Chris, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Number 58, Chris Letang and the Penguins taking on the Flames next on Root Sports.
Penguins Hockey on Root Sports is brought to you by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. You're better with Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, rated #1 for plan satisfaction. By Western PA Toyota Dealers. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Let's take a look at our Kia starting goaltender tonight, Bob.
Well, for Marc-Andre Fleury, 7 shutouts coming off that 22-save performance against the Edmonton Oilers. Is Marc-Andre Fleury going against our Hyundai goaltender, Jonas Hiller. You know, he sat and watched for 4 games. They gave him a little bit of a rest. Now he's on fire, 4-1 in the last 5, and Mike Johnson, he's raring to go here tonight.
Bob Hartley, always entertaining. Was very entertaining once again with the media today and talking about how his team should approach the presence of Sidney Crosby. He said it's not like the Pope's coming to Pittsburgh. To Calgary. We've got to make sure that we're focused on what we have to do. And that's what they'll be trying to do here tonight as the Penguins win the draw and dump the puck into the Flame zone. Evgeny Malkin are on the puck right away. The Penguins want to come out smoking as they did against the Flames in the 3-1 win over them in Pittsburgh on December 12th. And a bouncing puck moved up to their side, a bump by Dupre, and that allowed Arcabello, filling in for Dupre behind, to dump it back into the corner to Malkin. Malkin for Scuderi, a shot from a sharp angle, and the puck now gathered in by Michael Backlund of the Flames, but Malkin prevented it from clearing. Still, they get it back to the Penguin zone. Dupre to Scuderi. And ahead now where it's steered in by Patrick Hornquist, who heads to the bench. And the Penguins get Sidney Crosby onto the ice for the first time. And here's David Perron with a puck shooting, and that's blocked in front. And the Flames bounce right back. It is Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, dumping the puck behind the goal. Fleury up off the glass. Held in at the blue line, and a slap shot at the toe of Fleury as it was fired from the point by Brody. TJ Brody, another guy who's dangerous from the blue line, not just Giordano. Brody comes in with 8 goals. Now it's Giordano with the puck. He fires it. He's got 11. Centering pass. Crosby there to keep it away from the Flames and allow Perron to carry it back to center. Perron moves it along for Kunitz. Now the net has been dislodged, and that brings a whistle. Time for our Rivers Casino tips to win, Bob.
Well, I think for Pittsburgh, you want to get a lot of support. I saw it there in the last shift. We saw it in Edmonton right from the get-go. That was the first shift of the game in Edmonton. Initiate, don't retaliate. You don't want to get yourself down against this Calgary team. They're pretty disciplined. You want to get to the blue paint. That's how you score the goals. Perron did it. Led to a victory in Edmonton. I love the high cycle right away. Malkin to Martin. Then you saw it the other end. Brody, very active. Giordano, very active for Calgary. It's all about active D for Calgary, and I love to see Pittsburgh getting excited that way as well.
Penguins looking to get a little bit better performance tonight from their third line than they did in Edmonton. There's Steve Downey, Brandon Sutter, and Nick Spaulding on this unit. The fourth line logged an average of over 10 minutes. Against the Oilers. There's Downey shooting, and a save by Hiller, and he holds on.
Now Sidney Crosby. You know, it's not just the kids that looked up to Crosby. It's this kid, Johnny Gaudreau, who got to play in the All-Star game. Look at him back check with Sidney Crosby. Watched him as a player, and he went all the way to the far end. That was really good stuff defensively for a guy. He's played 51 games, 39 points, 0 penalty minutes. It's really, really incredible stuff. An offensive guy, you think about it, but you see the work that he put in there getting all the way back.
To make a good, clean play defensively and make many of them. We understand he has been very good at stripping pucks from opponents, and yet not taking any penalties, any hookings or anything during the course of the year. That's why he's a Lady Byng candidate. It's the trophy that goes to the guy who basically doesn't take any penalties but also puts up points. Puck is dumped in now. Taken behind the net by Russell. He sent it up to center ice. Brandon Bollig tried to tip it in, but the Penguins have control of it. There's Lapierre dumping the puck in. Russell back to get it. Craig Adams in on the forecheck. So it's the Penguins' fourth line. Sill, Lapierre, and Adams. Who played such a strong game against the Oilers, but Matt Stajan of the Flames shoots one. That's blocked by Dupre. Taken now by Adams. He left it for Simon Dupre. Dupre paired up again with Rob Scuderi, and that pairing seems to be the one that makes both of those players play their best. There's Dupre with it to the right wing, and Mark Arcabello into the Flame zone. Arcabello shooting off a stick, stopped by Hiller. Hornquist got a piece of it and then redirected it back to the net. And Hiller was alert there too. Arcabello looking for his first goal as a Penguin. This is his 9th game with Pittsburgh. He has 2 assists, including one the other night against the Oilers. Now the puck hits a Flame who is jumping on from the bench, and as a result, the whistle blows and a face-off coming up.
Well, you don't know how many goals are going to be scored. You got 2 great netminders here tonight. You got to play defense. Stage in 4th line center. Look at that stick out and the block down to one knee for Simon Dupré. You know, he's big in the hits, but he's perfectly playing that as he's moving, trying to absorb that rush. He's got the stick out, first line of defense, and then the body, the second line of defense. So really good job there by Simon Dupré.
Taking off with it is TJ Brodie. Lead passer trying that stretch pass against the Penguins. Yuri Hudler directed it in. Fleury way out of the net, cleared it. And is up for grabs on the wall, and Chris Kunitz able to turn it back to neutral ice. Brodie with it there. Back now for Giordano. He and Brodie have been a pair all year, one of the strongest in the league, and the puck is dumped in. By the way, Brodie is at plus 27, and Giordano at plus 19, and Giordano dumps the puck in. Kunitz with it now.
They get off the ice right now, as they know Crosby's unit's getting off the ice. You see that matchup all night long.
Flames trying to get out of their own zone. They're able to work it out to center. Steve Downey sends it around now for Scuderi. Scuderi out for Sutter. Just got a blade on it to direct it back to neutral ice. The Flames didn't want to be in awe of the Penguins and pay them too much respect early in the game. They kind of felt they did that in Pittsburgh when Blake Comeau scored less than a minute into the game, and the Penguins went on to win the game 3-1.
That's been their problem all season long, Staggy. Their first period, they've only scored 30 goals. They've given up 44. And, of course, their third period's drastically different. When they score 66, they've only given up 34. They need better starts. That'll creep up on you, not getting out to those good first periods, especially against a team like Pittsburgh.
They're playing well right now though. 8-2 in their last 10 games. They lost 7 in a row back in December when they came to Pittsburgh. They were in the middle of that 7-game losing streak, and it looked like the great start they got off to was going to be ruined. Here's Malkin down the wing, shooting, and he missed the net. Shooting it from a sharp angle. But they bounced back from that losing streak, and they're playing some really good hockey. This is the end of a long homestand for them.
Yeah, 6-gamer. They won 4 out of the 5 here on home ice.
Here's Malkin now into the Flame zone, surrounded by Red. It controls the puck. Malkin centers. Kunitz trying to get a stick on it. And the Flames go the other way. Lead pass. Boma. Lance Boma trying to get to the backhand, but Paul Martin reached around and knocked it off his stick, and then he crashed into the end boards. Brodie trying to get it to Backlund, who lost it, and a quick pass ahead down to Perron to Crosby. Backhander goes over the glove of Hiller and wide. Kunitz over to get it. Back for Crosby in the corner. Couldn't get it to the net. A defensive play there by Giordano. Now he tried to headman the pass. It's stolen. Shot, score! David Perron. He surprised Hiller after the Penguins were able to steal the puck away from the Flames. A turnover by them, if you want to call it that. And David Perron makes the pay.
Wow, we're trying to look at Mark Giordano and Chris Letang, a Norris Trophy battle here tonight. And it was Giordano who blinked first. He turned the puck over. Little bit of pressure, not a ton by Crosby. He got the stick on the puck. There's the turnover. Kunitz back to Crosby to Perron. They all get involved. Oh, yeah, great stuff by Crosby on that attack. And Giordano, because he's a left shooting defenseman. He's in the right side, Staggy. He brings it across his body. If he uses his backhand, Crosby doesn't get a stick on the puck. But because he turns it to the forehand, brings the stick in the middle of the ice, allows Crosby to get the stick on the puck. Turnover Giordano, 1-0, Perron and the Penguins.
David Perron has been unreal. It's 13 goals now on the season for Perron.
8 for the Penguins.
Back to get it goes Stage, and he centers. Scuderi in good defensive position, broke up the centering pass. Penguins quickly go to center. LaPierre dumps it into the Flame zone. Derek Engelland on the ice. Wears number 29 for the Flames, a former Penguin. And now it is Rafael Diaz, his partner, dumping it in. Another player from Switzerland. He sits in the locker right next to Jonas Hiller in the Flames locker room. Sill moving it to center now to Adams, who's bumped by Stajan. Actually, Stajan goes down.
That's what you want after a goal. You put the 4th line on, you keep the momentum. Look out.
Johnny Hockey centers, and it's off a stick and right to Fleury. Close call there.
He tried to go back door. Did Johnny Gaudreau. It didn't work out as the puck was intercepted by a stick. Monahan going down the backside. Robert Bortuzzo with a good stick play.
1-0 Penguins here in the first period of play, and the Pens going old school with a little something different for practice on Thursday. As some players made the short walk from the Saddle Dome to the Corral Arena, if you will, just across the street. The Flames actually called it home when they first moved here in 1980 and played there for 3 seasons. High boards, crooked seats in the corners, not great lighting. Kind of old school for the guys, and old school for you, Bobby. You practiced there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember that. You'd almost break your ankles jumping over the bench. They used to have a 3-tier bench there, Danny. They changed that, but when you came off the ice, they didn't play a game there, but in practice, in a game, what the players would do, they come off the ice, you'd have to go way up top. That was the third line. The first line up would be down there at the bottom. So really good stuff, and it was nice walking around that building yesterday.
And the boards were so high. There were pictures yesterday of teams sitting on the boards and their skates are dangling about halfway down the boards. That's how high they were. How did you get over them, Bob, when you had to come off the ice?
Hey, come on, Stan. You're taller than Johnny Gaudreau.
Here's Mason Raymond. It's center. Moves it into the middle. Drop pass by Big Joe. Dennis Wideman, the defenseman for Big Joe Colburn, who went down. He was tripped up. There'll be a penalty here. And it is a tripping call against Pittsburgh as Colburn, all 6'5" of them, went down.
And Downey, who leads the National Hockey League in penalty minutes with the trip. Got the left leg out, took his man down, and yes, the Penguins will have to kill a penalty. We talked about first period goals and the Flames not being able to score them. They've given up 45, scored only 30. For Pittsburgh now, they've scored 55 first period goals and given up only 39.
Michael Backlund taking the draw against Max Lapierre.
Backlund just got kicked out.
Lapierre has won 25 draws, lost 24 since coming to the Penguins. This one comes to the Flames, and Giordano with it. Moves it to the right side, so they'll set it up for the right wall. David Jones is right in front of the net. He's the net front presence. To the net comes Raymond, and his shot stopped. Raymond gets to the rebound as it came off the glass. Moves it up top to Giordano. His wrister, it's a stick. Jones to the puck. Jones, Backlund, and Mason Raymond up front for the Flames. Diaz and Giordano at the points. And it is Diaz with it. Back to Giordano, the one-timer, and it's blocked by Lapierre. Mason Raymond had it stripped away nicely by Letang, and then Lapierre trying to get it out against Giordano. The Flames win the battle to maintain possession on this power play, and here's Diaz with it now. Fakes the shot. Lapierre up tight against Giordano, trying to stay right in front of him as close as he can to him. Diaz's shot is stopped by Fleury. And the rebound, another battle for that puck. Adams over there on the near wall, and
hand pass.
There's a hand pass on the play, and Diaz is looking at Adams right now as he was very physical on him.
He's looking at the ref now. How about it? Hockey? It's a contact sport. That's why Adams is still playing in the game. And look at the special teams entering tonight. Time shorthanded. Flames lowest 122. Pittsburgh coming in tonight 181. They're the power play.
And you see
opponents and the difference.
The differential is what's really amazing. The Flames have had 50 more power play chances than times they've been shorthanded. The Penguins, on the other hand, have been shorthanded more. They're now a minus 20. So the puck at center ice. In other words, they've been shorthanded more than they've been on the power play, and that's because the Penguins are the most penalized team in the league, as you pointed out, Bob. Although that's a little bit misleading because a lot of Downey's penalty minutes, and he leads the league in penalties, have been not minor penalties, but that would put you shorthanded. 39 seconds to go on the Downey penalty. Johnny Gaudreau and Nick Spaulding, 2 13s battling, and Bortuzzo backhands the puck off the boards and out to center.
Big change. The Penguins changed 4 or 3, excuse me. Kept one player on the ice, Spaulding.
Look out, here's Johnny Gaudreau cutting in. He tried to pass the puck, and Scuderi broke it up. Plus Sid was coming back to the net. A one-timer by Brody hits Sidney Crosby. And now Alan Tang over to help out and turn it back out to center ice.
Boy, Crosby has really taken away time here. We saw the goal, first goal, was because Crosby was on Giordano right there. He blocking a shot from Brody. Brody lucky that Crosby just didn't go the other way about 150 feet.
Calgary had 2 shots on their last power play. Now this is Colburn with it. The former Maple Leaf and Boston Bruin behind the net. Working hard, but lost the puck. Kunitz takes it, able to get it out.
Boy, what a Simon Dupré got away there, wrapping up his man. He had an arm and a stick around him and got away with one.
Arcabello sends it into the middle now for Hornquist. Knocked off his stick, and the Flames work it back to neutral ice. These two teams mirroring one another right now. Here's Malkin trying to dive and control it. The Flames, Chris Russell will take it now in his own zone and bank it off the boards. It comes right to Malkin. He tried to settle it down with a glove, but the Flames take off the other way, and it's Mason Raymond. Bounces it softly behind Derek Pouliot. He sends it around now for Robert Bortuzzo. Bortuzzo up the wing. Hornquist is headed to the bench. He didn't know the puck was coming. Pouliot keeps it going north ahead to Crosby. Sidney Crosby surrounded by 4 Flames. Centers it, and the Flames read that and were able to break it up, but they don't get it out as Kunitz dumps it right back behind the net for Crosby, and over to Martin now. Paul Martin sends it back behind the goal. Perron tried to play it off the glass. Brody had it for a moment, and he is able to push it back to center where Kunitz sends it along now for Paul Martin.
You get the sense Sid Shaw. Look at that pass.
Kunitz with a shot at the save. Kunitz to the rebound. Oh, he tried to turn it to the forehand, and it got away from it.
Oh, Crosby's putting on a show right now, Staggy. You can just sense that he's up north here. He wants to put on a show for the Calgarians. You can just feel it.
Chris Letang goes back to the puck in his own zone with 8:50 to go in the period. Shots are 7-5 in favor of the Penguins. And they lead it 1-0 on the goal by David Perron. And this is icing against Pittsburgh. Well, we invite you to tweet the booth at Root Sports Pit using the hashtag PensBooth. Send your comments and questions. And it's all brought to you by Point Park University.
A lot of effort expended there. The Penguins' fourth line icing the puck.
Boma, Backlund, and Jones, the trio for the Flames, and the faceoff pulled back to center, so they'll have to retreat. Diaz moves it along for Derek Engelland. Back to Rafael Diaz. Ahead now for Paul Byron off his stick and picked up now by Arcabello. Mark Arcabello lost control. Byron hands it off now to Backlund. The first round pick of the Flames. Backlund back in the lineup after missing several games with injury. Here's Hornquist to Malkin, just out of his reach. Now Dennis Wideman with it. Malkin took it away from him. Malkin shoots it. He missed. Off the glove of Hiller. Just went off the tip of his glove. Malkin to the puck again. And handled now on the left wing by Yuri Hudler. Another diminutive player for the Flames who puts up good numbers. Here's Monahan with it. Sean Monahan looks back. Wanted to drop it back to the defense. Sends it in behind the net for Johnny Gaudreau. Hudler's in front. Now Monahan will go get it. Spalling trying to take it away from him. Pouliot got a stick on it, but it comes to the defense, and Engelland with a drive, and a one-timer is blockered away by Fleury to the near side. Taken by Derek Pouliot. He's able to lift it back into the Flame zone where Diaz has it.
Once again, the Penguins had a chance at the other end. Malkin with good pressure on Chris Russell. And the Penguins getting on the Flames defense very quickly here. And the Penguin Engelland a chance at the other end.
Giordano deep in his own zone. Will carry the puck now. Sends it ahead for Josh Jurish. Going back to get it as Letang. It wanders off his stick. Mason Raymond there. It's Raymond, Juris, and Colburn with the Penguins quickly break up the play and start back again. Perron dumps it into the Flame zone of the corner. They get after it against Brody. Juris comes back. Crosby takes it away from him. Finds Kunitz, but it jumps right over the blade of his stick.
Again, dump the puck in, get on it, take the body, Perron. Guess he's right there. Crosby stealing the puck again for Pittsburgh. So they got a game plan. They're using all 4 lines here. Good stuff for Pittsburgh in this first period.
A strip of the puck there by Zach Sill. Penguins' fourth line is on. Boma steers it to the line. Scuderi trying to keep it at bay. And it is cleared eventually by Adams back to center. Derek Engelland to Rafael Diaz. Former Canadian dumps the puck in. Scuderi just dishes it to the corner. Boma there. Adams bumps him. David Jones lost the puck. LaPierre snaps it along for Dupré. Simon Dupré back over to his partner Rob Scuderi. Scuderi ahead now to Arcabello. Arcabello hit by Engelland, dumped it in behind the net. Adams couldn't get to it. but Malkin will jump on it. Malkin slashing his way behind the net, but Diaz gets the puck and works it out to center where Pouliot keeps it going north. Now Bortuzzo can't handle the pass, and it comes back to the Flames defense. Englund ahead now for Brandon Bollig. He steers into the Penguin zone, and Derek Pouliot back to get it.
You don't have a lot of whistles. You're playing in a little bit of altitude here in Calgary. I always felt it a little bit in the lungs. You want to make sure you get the quick changes, shorten the shifts by 5 or 6 seconds. And that's what the Penguins are doing here. I think they're out changing Calgary right now.
Sutter at the side of the net, loose in front. Downey poking at it. Hiller right on the goal line keeps the puck out. And then Brandon Sutter almost scored.
They're getting to the blue paint on Hiller. It was their 9th shot on net. They got the first one on the board. Did Pittsburgh. Perron, and the Penguins up by 1.
Well, the Calgary Sun happened to be on hand for covering a really neat event yesterday while the Penguins were practicing over at the Corral. Young Cameron Payette, the son of Ron Payette, who was a scout for the Pittsburgh Penguins, had a chance to skate. He is a fantastic little hockey player, 8 years old, and he got a chance to meet Sidney Crosby. You saw the paper, and he was on the cover of the sports page. Sidney Crosby, of course, enjoyed being out there with him, but the kid was really making some great plays, Bob. He could really stick handle, and just a big thrill for him. That's something he'll remember for the rest of his life.
Well, what he did there, Steg, Sidney Crosby came out with a roll of tape and a stick, and he allowed him to tape his stick. It was incredible stuff. And the guy, what? The kid's like, well, I get to tape Sidney Crosby's stick, and he just couldn't believe it. He just had the eyes on him. It was unbelievable. I don't think he slept. There's no way he slept last night.
Shot by Diaz deflected up into the netting behind the goal. Let's take a look at our barrel leaders. We talked about the Norris Trophy candidates, and you see where Letang is. He's 3 points behind Giordano. I mentioned that Giordano is a plus 19. Letang is a plus 4.
And he's a plus 18 now, it's Giordano, after that turnover.
Good point.
And I tell you, he had a really good start to the season, and what Chris Letang is doing right now should open a lot of eyes. Let's call it what it is. Chris Letang has been the best defenseman in the last 15 games, certainly in the National Hockey League. Not just offensively, where he's been involved in 8 of the last 10 Penguin goals, but defensively, they use Letang and Martin against every team's top offensive players. And for Chris Letang, who didn't get off to that great start like Giordano did, there wasn't a lot of talk about him for Norris. He's already been a candidate. He's been better this year than he was when he was a Norris candidate. And I'm not taking anything away from Mark Giordano, who's had a tremendous season, undrafted player.
And that award is voted on by the media. So I guess the more we talk about it and the more light we shed on it, the better chance there is of more and more people taking notice. Now here's Rob Scuderi with it, and he'll send it around for Evgeny Malkin. Head now to Simon Desprez. He's playing with more confidence. Looks up, trying to get the puck to Hornquist, who went behind him. Patrick Hornquist did everything in his power to try to get to the puck first. He's not happy. I think he was bumped off balance there as he tried to get
He's not happy with the race to the icing call there. He thought he
won
got
the
there
race?
first, yeah.
On the latest edition of the Penguins in the Room, Derek Pouliot joins some elite company when he scores on his first shot in his first NHL game. Bill Guerin gives us a tour of his backyard rink and much more. In the Room tomorrow at 8:30 on Root Sports. Giordano's shot is blocked. Arcabello up the wall. Malkin trying to get around Giordano. Malkin crashes into the boards. He's going to be all right. Gets up quickly. But the Flames have it, and out they come. Penguins leading 1-0. 3:43 to go in the first.
Now you got to watch Malkin, make sure that when he gets to the bench, he's able to come out. Remember, he missed 5 games with a lower body injury. Anytime he goes into the boards or loses his footing, you want to make sure he's okay for that next shift.
Stage and dumped it in. Fleury stops it behind the goal, lifts it up off the glass. Kunitz couldn't corral it. It'll be taken now by Dennis Wideman. Wideman, another guy with a lot of goals. He's got 12 this year.
Yeah, Wideman's out against the Crosby unit now. It was Giordano against Malkin on that last shift.
Kunitz dumps the puck in. Sid did everything in his power to stay onside. And he did. And now it's Bortuzzo on the near wing. He's bumped by Byron. And it comes back to the Penguin line where it's taken by Derek Pouliot. There's some pressure here from Stajan. No damage done as Brody has it now in his own zone. DJ Brody lifts it to the Penguin line and Derek Pouliot there. To Simon Despres. Ahead now where it's dumped in by Zach Still to the corner. Brody goes back after it. Lapierre trying to line him up. Brody dodged that check. Sent up the right wing out of the reach of Mason Raymond and right back to the Penguin defense. Scuderi with it now.
They've only given up one odd man situation today. It was Monahan on the back door when we saw Johnny Gaudreau on that one chance. That's it. The Penguins have been back 3, 4, 5 men strong.
LaPierre gets it to the net. Miller made the save. Despres keeps it in. Throws it wide of the goal. And it's frozen by Jonas Hiller. Minute 54 to go in what has been a period that's been controlled pretty much by the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Flames with only 7 shots and the Penguins lead at 1-0. Your neighborhood Ford store brings you the first intermission with Robin J. Dan Potash visits with that man, Robert Bortuzzo.
Yeah, Robert Bortuzzo, January 11th, 2014. Match penalty on a hit against Mark Giordano. But he's put up offensive numbers as well. 4 assists in 3 games here in Calgary for Robert Bortuzzo. So a little O and a little D.
Sutter won the draw against Monahan. Despres threw it to the net. Steered in by Sutter. Perfectly executed play. Sutter goes to the net. Despres found the blade of his stick and he steered it in behind Hiller to make it 2-0.
Well, a couple of great things here. From a face-off, anytime you score off a face-off, that's great stuff. But the Penguins were working on this at the Corral Center yesterday. Those face-offs. And Sutter, strong, wins it to his forehand. Despres, because it's on his off wing, he's playing the right defense. He's a left-hand shot. He's able to one-time that down. And the Penguins worked on this specifically yesterday. One guy go to the net, take the checks from the Flames. But the second guy, they wanted that strong stick, as Rick Tocchet had talked about, off the side of the net. And that's exactly where Simon Despres, he wasn't shooting to score. He was shooting for a body down off the net. And the Penguins got exactly what they were looking for, exactly what they've been working on, not just yesterday, but for the last week in practice.
Sutter's on the backhand doing it, and it's not an easy thing to do, but steering it in on the backhand side of his blade.
No, that's tough. Exactly. After winning that face-off from that circle, that's not his best face-off circle.
He beat Monahan on the draw, who shoots it wide of the goal, and then Hoodler tried to tuck one in and just couldn't pull it off. He almost did. But now it's taken in the near corner by Letang, who sends it around for Paul Martin. Martin ahead for Downey, who steered it back to neutral ice. Downey keeps it moving and dumps it up into the Flame zone and goes to the bench for a change. Chris Russell mishandles the puck. And Michael Backlund comes back and moves it back around for Chris Russell. Mark Arcabello in on the forecheck as Russell sends it around. And the Flames seem to be in quicksand right now. One thing we really marveled at the other night was how difficult it was for the Oilers to get out of their own zone against the Penguins. Maybe the Penguins are going to start doing that to a lot of teams as they get more into their rhythm and their system and getting all their players back. They've got some continuity now in their lines. Here's Malkin into the Flame zone, dropping it off for Mark Arcabello. Lost it to David Jones. Jones goes the other way, drops it off for Backlund, centers, and it's out of the reach of Brody. 28 seconds to go in the period. Despres fighting to get to the puck behind the net. He and Malkin go to work. Malkin cleaning up his own zone, helping out his defense and lifting it back to center. Up the left wing it comes for Boma. He'll slide it towards the Penguin goal, and Letang swoops in to take it away. Letang's pass ahead finds Kunitz. Kunitz into the Flame zone. 7 seconds to go in the period. Paul Martin controls.
Simon Despres having one heck of a hockey game today. You remember the blocks early. He's got an assist, a big hit against Boma here. Simon Despres, a force, a real force in this first period. And that man, Perron, opened up the scoring. And really good to see another face-off goal, something you work on in practice, translating to a goal in the game, and Pittsburgh with a commanding 2-0 lead.
Sutter getting his 11th from Despres and Scuderi at 18-10 to make it 2-0, and let's go to Robin J.
Catch all the excitement of Penguins hockey on Root Sports all season long. Score! Over 70 games.
Wins it for the Penguins.
With live pre- and post-game shows.
Running it on goal. Fleury makes the
And we'll be on the ice with Inside Penguins Hockey. It's Penguins Hockey on Root Sports.
Penguins up 2-0 after one period of play in Calgary. If you listen to Steige and Bob, you heard him talk about the comfort level of Simon Dupre playing with Rob Scuderi. An assist and 4 hits for Dupre in that first period of play. Let's head back up for more from the guys at Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary. Guys?
Thank you very much, Rob. It seems to me, Bob, that the big challenge for any young defenseman in the NHL is to find that consistency from game to game. Not too many highs and lows.
And to learn how to play on that right side if you're a left shot. And I think things are backwards for a while. I know Simon Dupre likes playing there. He's starting to learn how to make the correct decisions. There he is, blocking a shot, stick out in his first hit of the hockey game. Heads up, shot down to Sutter, going to the net. The Penguins are up 2-0. And then after that, he came back with a big hit, did Simon Dupre. And he was a force. 4 hits for Pittsburgh, solid defensively and offensively. Really a tremendous period all the way around for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Tonight's face-offs are presented by the new face of Northwood Realty Services. Flames won the face-off battle in the first period, 60-40%. There were only 15 face-offs total in that period.
And there are there's David Perron. He opened the scoring, and Brandon Sutter off the face-off, losing his check going to the net. Center's supposed to take the center. It didn't quite happen there, and Sutter from Red Deer was able to slide one in on the backhand. He's got family in the building here tonight.
Flames dump the puck into the Penguins zone. Fleury just touched it, and now it's taken by Malkin, and he's able to steer his way to center ice. Over to Chris Letang, and puck hit the linesman who's sitting on the boards, but it's in the Flame zone now. And Chris Russell around for Weidman. Up the wall, Hoodler chops it back to center ice. Flames on the rush. And Gaudreau shot it in. Monahan was offside entering the zone.
And then he took a shot from Arcobello after that, after he shot it in. So they're paying him a little extra attention, Johnny Gaudreau. And why not? He went to the All-Star game this year, and Arcobello, he's trying to make a name for himself here in Pittsburgh. Picked up an assist in the last game, playing alongside of Genny Malkin. What an opportunity for Mark Arcobello.
Bo Bennett a healthy scratch again tonight, with Arcobello getting that opportunity to play on the left wing with Evgeny Malkin. And as Bob said, there's Sidney Crosby in now against Backlund. And Scuderi up the wall for Kuntz and out to center, where it's taken by Brody's, stolen by Perron to the goal. And Hiller had to make a save with a left pad on David Perron.
Pressure, turnovers, and they get the clear.
Boma to Giordano. And there's a good example of how he provides offense as he shot it wide, swooping into the slot.
And he was the man who cleared it off the pads of Hiller, Staggy, so he made the defensive play, then joined the rush. An example of what he can do both sides of the puck.
Giordano, an undrafted defenseman in this league. Now the puck at center ice, handled by Derek Pouliot. Ahead to Steve Downey. Right side of Sutter, and his shot stopped by Hiller, and he's able to freeze. Day Auto brings you a great day for hockey on all of our Root Sports telecasts. Mario Lemieux became the first Penguins player to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. The headline was "As Great as Gretzky." It was the first of 4 times Mario was the cover boy. February 6th of '89.
I guess it wasn't much of a jinx, was it?
Not
a couple
for
of
him.
cups after that. 199 points, 88-89 for Mario Lemieux.
Although he didn't win the Hart Trophy, Wayne Gretzky did. That was the year that he went to Los Angeles, and Mario had all those points and didn't win it, and he wasn't too pleased with that. So they asked the question. The answer was yes, but the writers said no when it came to voting on the Hart Trophy. Face-off coming up outside the Calgary blue line.
Pretty sure that was the year Joey Mullen won the Lady Byng, was it not, Staggy? He won a couple of Lady Byngs in the late 80s. did Joey Mullen.
With the Calgary Flames. From the draw, Byron, and it poked away by Derek Pouliot. Good stick work there by the young defenseman of the Penguins.
Joey Mullen won in 86-87 and 88-89. The Lady Byng.
Pouliot back into his own zone under pressure. LaPierre helping out. The puck pinballing around in front. Adams trying to get himself free of the check and back pressure from Stajan. The Flames dump it right back into the Penguin zone, and here's Pouliot with it again. Paul Byron is only 5'7", 153 pounds. Over 32 of the Flames can be effective players. Offside are the Penguins entering the Flame zone. This building that we're in right now was built for the Winter Olympics. And that's what it housed back in 1988. And it cost them $97 million to build it. And it was flooded during the summer of 2013. Water filled the 10 rows of the arena, but it was restored in time for the start of the 13-14 season. Mario Lemieux, speaking of him, in 84 won the 84-85 season. His rookie year won the car at the All-Star game here in this building in Calgary. That was the first of 3 cars that he won as MVP of the All-Star game. Bouncing puck, swept aside by Russell, but played now by Arcabello, knocked off his stick back to center ice. Head now for Hornquist. And now Dupre with it. Rob Scuderi takes it. Up the right wing to Hornquist, across to Arcabello. In front now. Hornquist went to the net. Malkin, the man who passed it to Arcabello, they almost pulled off a tic-tac-toe play there. Here's Arcabello with it again for Malkin. Down the wall now for Paul Martin. Martin looks for Letang, and he got a stick in the face as he went to play the puck.
Was it the stick
or was
or
it a puck? It may have been the puck.
And he's still hunched over, being attended to now, shaking his blood on the ice.
Johnny Gaudreau must have gotten a blade on that puck, and it jumped right up into the face of Chris Letang, and he goes right to the locker room.
And Gaudreau's looking up at the big board. It was the stick of Gaudreau deflected that puck up, hit Chris Letang right in the face as he dropped down between the hash marks. There's Martin trying to make the pass. There's the stick, and there's the deflection. As we see, Letang is just trying to time it and one time it towards the net. Puck came up and struck him. There is blood on the ice in front of Hiller. He's scraping it away right now with his skate. Is Hiller. Now he's knocking his stick on the ice, saying, "Hey guys, you got to clean up all this ice, this blood here." And I think we're going to have a timeout, guys. The referee is signaling now for the workers
squeeze
here in the shovel. We're going to have to scrape this up. Jonas Hiller, the Penguins, I think this is the 3rd time they faced a goaltender with the glove on the right hand so far this season.
An opportunity to give you our UPMC Sports Medicine injury update. And Blake Como, the former Flame, is on the trip, shooting the puck now with that injury, and almost ready to come back for the Penguins, maybe by the end of next week.
He opened up the scoring the last time these two teams on December 12th did Como. 48 seconds, I believe it was, into that hockey game as they get things scraped up here. And there's a Swiss netminder, Jonas Hiller, with that trapper on the right side. And where does he give up his goals? Well, so far tonight, a little redirection on the glove side for Sutter, and one on the low blocker. The David Perron goal, you see 32.5% on that glove side low. That's worse than the NHL average. And look at his even straight save percentage, .928, very strong. Short-handed save percentage, only .775, and it's a good thing that they don't have to kill too many penalties, these Calgary Flames.
Meanwhile, Fleury's short-handed save percentage is .913. You see the black mask that Hiller wears? Well, he got a new shell, prior to when they would paint it. And guy said, "Hey, that looks pretty cool." And then he said referees were coming up to him and saying, "That looks really nice. So we like that." So he decided to keep it. And so he's had it when he was a member of Anaheim and now with Calgary. It fits his uniform now with the black in the uniform of the Flames.
He's been on a roll here right now, 4-1 in his last 5 hockey games.
Giordano banks it off the glass out to center, and Paul Martin has it for the Penguins. Quick pass going north to Perron. Perron steps in and fires, and the save by Hiller. The rebound came right to Kunitz. Chris Kunitz backing off, finding Perron. Now to Kunitz, he holds it and shoots it, and a blocker save made, and then it's knocked out of midair by Crosby just wide. Maybe it kissed the post a little bit.
It did. It hit the crossbars. Crosby batted it out of the air. I don't know if his stick was below the crossbar or not, but wow. That would have been a spectacular goal by Crosby, as those three were just tic-tac-toe with that puck.
Now it's Russell with it, the former Columbus Blue Jacket. Sends the puck down the ice, and this will be icing against the Calgary Flames, who don't seem to have their game going right now here in their home ice.
No, the Penguins do, though. They are flying right now. Perron with the puck down low. He found the stick of Kunitz. There's the blocker shot. There's Crosby with the backhand. No, that looked like it was under the crossbar to me. I think that one would have counted for the Penguin captain had it gone in, but still a 2-0 hockey game as the Penguins, Letang was just struck with a puck up in the facial area. A little bit of blood. He went down the runway a couple of minutes ago.
This is only the 4th time that Sidney Crosby has played in Calgary. He's got 1 goal in the previous 3 games here. But he does have quite a few goals against the Flames. 6 goals in 7 games overall against them. Here's Bortuzzo working it ahead to Spalling. Nick Spalling steps in and drops it off to Brandon Sutter. Sutter with a forehand shoots it. It's off a leg. Sutter gets it right back. Sutter moves it along for Bortuzzo, but it's picked off and then cleared by Mason Raymond up into the Penguin zone. Fleury directs traffic for Pouliot. Tells him where he's going to push the puck, and Pouliot will run the stationary breakout, giving the Flames a chance to change in the neutral zone.
You talk about changes. It'll be tough now. The Penguins D with that long change minus Letang, Staggy. Look at that skate pass by Malkin.
And Arcapello stops up at the boards and trying to work it along for Hornquist. Malkin follows on. Hornquist and Malkin. And Arcapello cycling the puck now, the Flames end. Arcapello to Scuderi. And Scuderi just wristed it down below. Flames trying to get it out. Dupre steps up. And he prevented his man from getting the puck out. So the Flames have to go backwards to try to go forwards. And now Stajan sneaked in behind Dupre. He got a blade on it. And it's Fleury setting it up now for Simon Dupre. To Evgeny Malkin. And now Malkin gliding through center, picks his way through and turns back. Dishes it off to Rob Scuderi. The Penguins have outshot the Flames 5-0 so far here in the second period, leading by a score of 2-0. And Scuderi with it. Snaps it along for Zach Sill. LaPierre over for support, takes the pass. LaPierre shot off the side of the cage. Sill hustles in there to get to it around Backlund. Diaz, shoulder checked by LaPierre. Flames can't get it out. Martin holds it in. Slaps it down low. This is Craig Adams. Out to Paul Martin. Back down into the corner for Zach Sill. Sill, LaPierre, and Adams, and Sill draws a penalty here. He was pulled down. And a holding call against Calgary.
Well, that was a busy shift for Ian Walsh, the referee. He had to call a penalty and jump on that pogo stick 3 times in the corner. Good stuff. Well, the Penguins' 4th line drawing a penalty. Ralph Diaz out of Switzerland. Zach Sill, you keep the legs moving. And Pouliot, comfort as the Penguins are changing. Spreads out to that corner, head up. Is able to make that pass. And Malkin over to Arcabella to get the puck in the other zone. So looking composed in his 11th game so far this season for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Derek Pouliot.
Paul Martin handles the puck, works it out now to Evgeny Malkin. Penguins on the power play, a UPMC Sports Medicine power play. Malkin across to Martin, fakes the shot. Perron's in the high slot. No Letang on this power play. Malkin fires, and it's blocked and cleared.
Oh, they had a chance.
A good chance here maybe for Stajan. Fleury's going to come way out of the net to play it away from him.
Well, they had a chance before that, Staggy. If they had took Malkin after the block shot, it would have been a 2-on-1 Calgary. Instead, they dumped the puck into kind of no man's land, if you will, kind of a 50-50 chance. They didn't recognize they had a real opportunity there.
Now Perron controls the puck. He had nowhere to go with it and is taken away shorthanded as Backlund to dump it into the Penguin zone, and back to get it goes Sidney Crosby. Send it back to the corner, and finally Malkin will take it. While Byron applying a lot of pressure here, and Malkin will carry the puck ahead now for Pittsburgh on the power play. He tried to go right wing and went off the leg of Juris, and comes right back to Paul Martin.
You mentioned without Chris Letang, he's kind of like that stopgap, that security blanket. And when Malkin had that shot block, you didn't have him there to bail him out.
Crosby trying to get it to Malkin, who one-hands it towards the net, but the Flames are there to break it up. Cleared by Chris Russell. And Penguins started back up the ice again. It's David Perron carrying the puck. Ahead to Malkin. Malkin sets it up now for Pouliot. He skates in and moves it to the right side of Crosby. Trying to go to Downey. Joris read that play and fell down as he tried to go the other way, and now the Penguins step into the attacking zone. Malkin left it for Derek Pouliot. He mishandles the puck but maintains possession. Pouliot snaps it across to Kunitz. Now to Malkin. Downey goes to the front of the net. And Malkin hanging on to the puck, goes to Pouliot. Back to Gino. Doesn't shoot it, finds Arcabello. Closing in and shooting, and a save by Hiller. The rebound. Arcabello is able to find it. Penalty's over. Diaz steps onto the ice. Kunitz. Arcabello. Now to Kunitz again. Shooting. Oh, he was looking for Downey maybe to steer one in there. And Pouliot holds it under the backhand. Now he's going to step into the bench. Penguins continue to pressure, though, in the Flame zone as Downey holds the puck. Downey to the corner to Arcabello. Back up the wall. Smalling steps into a man so that Scuderi can play the puck to Downey. And right to the glove of Hiller. And he'll hang on to it for a faceoff. Tonight's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to U.S. servicemen and women stationed at bases in 175 countries and aboard 140 ships at sea. Welcome and thank you for your service to our country. And I don't know if you're allowed to tweet, but if you are, tweet the booth at Root Sports Pit. Use the hashtag PensBooth and maybe send us a picture from a ship. I'm sure there's some Penguin fans somewhere, Bob, out there. Happy to see the Penguins playing the Flames tonight on AFN. Here's Sutter with it now.
That'd be great.
And the shot taken by Scuderi, and it's frozen by Hiller. The whistle does blow. The Penguins try to pry it loose.
You remember when Edmonton went through a dry spell? The Flames' last shot was 15-14 of the first period. They've gone over 13 minutes without a shot. And this one here, a redirect by Smalling in front, right on the top of the blue paint. So the Oilers were stymied by the Penguins in the first game of this 3-game road trip. And here, the Calgary Flames, they are out of sorts as the Penguins have just been smothering, really. Their foot speed has been tremendous in the game.
From the face-off, it is the Flames controlling, and Byron moves it ahead to center now to Matt Stajan. Stajan shoots it long. There's a shot. Fleury juggling and cradling that puck in the glove, and now a little activity after the whistle, Bob.
In the blue paint, Marc-Andre Fleury flipping pancakes here in Calgary. He's just trying to make it exciting. He didn't see a shot for a long time. He's glad to say hi to his teammates here as the shot comes in from Stajan.
Fleury is 5-0-1 and starts after a shutout. He did shut out the Oilers the other night. Now here he is having a relatively easy time, but if you remember, in the third period against the Oilers, he had to be very strong. The Oilers came on in the third, so he did earn the shutout. And we already told you that the Flames are a very good third period team, so we'll have to watch out for that. It's not going to be a breeze all night long for Marc-Andre Fleury, I don't think.
And the Penguins are going with different defensive pairs here now. Bortuzzo and Dupre in the absence of Chris Letang. Only 5 defensemen available here for Gary Agnew. Now they're checking to see if this puck went over the glass or whether it was tipped. I think it's going to be a penalty for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Robert Bortuzzo. He's not arguing it here too much. As
Pittsburgh, number 41, 2 minutes delay of game.
So the puck over the glass here. Take a look. It didn't look like it hit a Calgary Flame. It kind of, the puck rolled up on the blade of Robert Bortuzzo. So he goes to the box for delay of game in Calgary with really their best opportunity of this period. They haven't had any good opportunities to speak of.
This could turn the game around for them. They get on the board here. It's a brand new hockey game. There's Diaz working at left side to the shot. Just missed the net. Off the corner boards. Diaz hustles over to get to it. Now Backlund after the puck. Mason Raymond, Michael Backlund, and David Jones up front for the Flames on the power play. Diaz and Giordano on the points. Diaz plays catch, shoots the puck. It hits a man in front, David Jones. Jones trying to control the puck. Scuderi takes it away. Now Raymond took it away from him. And a quick shot right on the doorstep. Fired wide of the goal by Backlund, and now taken by Giordano, skating beautifully to the middle. Shooting, and a save by Fleury. Rebound Jones, and he couldn't jam it in. Fleury able to hang on to it. In fact, he was lying down on top of the puck. And again, a little battle after the whistle around that Penguin goal.
Well, they're trying to get there. Marc-Andre Fleury, he kept it out doing a couple of snow angels there in that blue paint. So he's getting active right now, is Marc-Andre Fleury, and keeping this power play at bay. I don't know if he got a piece of this with his glove. He reacted, but it's hard to tell. It may have just tipped wide as he was deep in his net. And look at the traffic. When the shot came through, he looked around. Puck's under him somewhere. Then he got bumped here a little bit late in that sequence and looked like he wanted to get after somebody.
You see why Giordano's dangerous, because he was moving, drifting as he shot that puck. So the angle's changing. He was able to get it through all that traffic. Now they set it up from the left wing boards. And a sharp angle shot off the corner wall. Taken now by Backlund down to the corner. Raymond up top to Giordano. Back to Raymond. He fanned on that shot. Broke his stick, in fact. And the Penguins doing their best to try to get it out here, but Backlund doing a very good job of making sure the puck stays in the offensive zone on this power play. Excellent work by Backlund, and it comes into the slot. And the shot by Diaz was blocked. And Martin just pokes it to the near wall and over to get it and clear it back up into the flame zone as Brandon Sutter.
Great stuff there. You saw blocks. You saw Rob Scuderi throwing his weight around as he jumps back, gets a tap from Gary Agnew on the bench. Really good stuff there.
32 seconds on the penalty. Johnny Gaudreau dumped it in, and the Penguins dump it right back out as Martin goes to Dupre, and he's able to lift it back to the flame line. Brody with it there. Brody, Monahan, Hoodler, Gaudreau, and Weidman are on the ice now for the Flames. And Hoodler works it into the middle for Monahan. Hoodler trying to find it. Zach Sill got a stick on it and directed it to the corner. And they set it up down to the point. It's Brody with it. Fakes the shot. Across now. The shot by Weidman was blocked. And Dupre on the backhand up to Sill. Zach Sill with Bortuzzo coming out of the box. Dumps it up into the flame zone. And the Penguins successfully kill it.
Great stuff. You remember Sill's already drawn a penalty in this period. Another good block for Zach Sill. And the Penguins getting contributions from everybody here in this game so far.
In both power plays, Bob Hartley has used what I would have thought would be the second power play unit to start the power play. And it was this second unit that had Hoodler and Monahan on it. Here's Crosby to the goal. He scores! Sidney Crosby steers it in on a beautiful setup by Chris Kunitz. And the Penguins take a 3-0 lead after killing the penalty. Crosby is on the board. And that is his first goal in 7 games. And he made it look easy.
Well, he's soaring right now, and his jersey would be flapping in the wind if they weren't tight-fitting jerseys. Look at the play on the wall by Perron. Kunitz, the 2-on-1. Giordano, you got to prevent that pass from getting through. He didn't get the back-check support. Giordano decided that he thought he had back-checking support, but Sidney Crosby was just too good. And Byron couldn't keep up to him, could he? Giordano made the decision to move and try to pressure Chris Kunitz on the wall. When he did that, when he stepped, Kunitz made the pass through. Byron couldn't keep up to Sidney Crosby. Mach 87 getting it done here in Calgary.
Now Dennis Weidman steps into the Penguin zone and drops it off for Jones. Penguins break it up. Arcabella moves it to center. And Evgeny Malkin carries into the Calgary zone. Malkin looks for Pouliot shooting, and a save made by Hiller.
Well, now they're coming, aren't they? Now they're feeling it. The Penguins, great read by Pouliot. Trying to put that final nail in it, Staggy.
It's unbelievable. Only 2 shots for the Flames here in the second period. The Penguins are putting on a clinic right now against the Flames. And this is a good hockey team they're playing, folks. Here's a lead pass coming to the net. Backhand shot. Fleury makes the save. And a good opportunity there. As coming to the goal was Lance Boma. Boma was looking for his 9th goal of the season there, and he had a good play to go to the backhand, but Fleury was just that much better. Now Martin looks around and pokes it. It goes right to Matt Stajan. Stajan down the wing. Downey trying to take it away. Martin does to Downey. And out now to Brandon Sutter. Sutter softly dumps it behind the defense. Gets on the puck first for Spalling, and it goes right past his stick as he was going to the goal. Bortuzzo over to play it. Pokes it away from Byron, and Spaulding spins one back into the Flame zone. 6:36 to go in the second period, and the Penguins leading 3-0 on the road. And Chris Letang has returned from getting stitched up, we assume, after getting the puck in the face. And he is on the bench now for the Penguins.
He already wears the shield. It looked like they caught him underneath that shield somewhere.
Dupre in the corner. Dupre tried to clear it. It came to the Flames, though. Brody works it left side. Brody with it, shooting, and didn't get anything on it at all. And the Penguins able to counter. LaPierre wheels it down deep. Sill trying to get to it against Giordano. Monahan working the end boards as well. LaPierre steps in, but it comes up the wall to Gaudreau. And now to center ice, where stepping up was Letang against Brody. He's able to dump the puck in. And Letang will go back to play it for the first time since leaving the game. Moves it along for Paul Martin. Out on right wing for David Perron, who dumps it in. Brody goes back to play in the corner. Penguins steal. Perron with a shot. Save made by Hiller. Rebound. Kudos chabbing away at it. And Hiller kept it out with some help from his friends in front of the goal. And the Penguins swarming the net again. Now Paul Martin back to the puck.
You're right. What a bunch of pests out there. If it's not Perron, it's Crosby, it's Kunitz.
Perron dumps the puck in, but it's out of play.
And Marc-Andre Fleury, how can we forget about him? Sometimes you do. He makes it look so easy. Lance Boma looking for an opportunity to make it 3-1. Denied by Fleury.
Well, so far so good for the Penguins defensively through their trip here in Western Canada. No goals allowed. You had to work with 5 defensemen for a short while. You've got Chris back, but how do you keep going defensively?
Well, it was tough there for the first 4 or 5 minutes. When Chris was gone, we were rolling. There was no timeouts. There was no whistles. Had the big penalty kill, so it worked well. So we'll get Letang going a lot more here, give him some more shifts, probably double him up until the end of the period and get him going again.
All right, Gary, well done. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Guys.
Flames on the rush, turn it over at the blue line. Penguins try to take advantage of that. Arcabello will dump it deep. It's in behind the net. Hiller's looking around for it. Malkin finds it. And Gino and Patrick Hornquist go to work now. Dupre pinches down against David Jones. What's this going to be? A penalty?
A high stick. I believe on Malkin here. Giordano, I think it was maybe not Giordano. It may have been Weidman who got caught up high here.
Pittsburgh penalty number 71, 2 minutes, high sticking.
So Malkin behind the net with Weidman battling for a puck, trying to lift the stick, and he went around Weidman and caught him right in the face. Weidman not wearing the visor there, and we showed you last night only 2 Penguins don't wear the visor. 3 on a regular basis, and Weidman, one of those veterans who doesn't wear the visor, caught it right in the eye area. So Derek Engelland, another that doesn't wear it. Of course, the scrappy Derek Engelland.
Penguins dump the puck down the ice. The Flames on the power play. And they will dump the puck to the corner. The Calgary's 0 for 2. They have 3 shots on their previous power play opportunities. They start the power play again with Backlund, Raymond, Diaz, Giordano. Gary Hoodler's out here on the first power play unit this time. Hoodler with it on the left side. And the Flames need a goal desperately. They're down 3-0, and this is a golden opportunity for them to get the crowd going, get back into this game, and back on that comeback trail, which they've been on many times this year. Here's Diaz with it now at the point. To the left side. Backlund's in the slot. He takes the pass and moves it back down to Giordano. Giordano looking to change the angle. Backlund works it across, and a quick shot. Great save by Fleury. That time on Diaz. And Fleury anticipating where that puck was going. He was there ahead of the shot. Now it's Giordano with it again, moving it right side to Backlund. Back up top to Giordano. To Diaz, a drive, and a save made again by Fleury. Diaz gets his own rebound. LaPierre and Adams up top on the penalty kill. Here's Giordano with it. Diaz fakes the shot this time. Giordano lets it go, and Adams stood right in front of that to block it. Right side taken by Mason Raymond. Raymond back up top to Giordano. He's got a look here at the net. Shoots it, and it's just wide. I think he was looking for a redirect there as Hoodler was standing right on the doorstep. Giordano again fires the puck. This one sails wide and off the corner boards. 13 seconds to go in the Malkin penalty. Giordano another opportunity. The left side, Weidman with a blast, and Weidman missed the target, and it comes off the glass and all the way back to center ice.
Scuderi and Adams, two of the players without a visor, almost took that high shot right in the melon. But what a great job by Fleury, able to look around Hoodler in front of that net.
Monahan's low shot is stopped by Fleury. That was a good scoring chance there. Now it's Weidman with it again. Penguins back at full strength. Weidman's shot flagged down by Letang. Gaudreau trying to keep it alive. Works into the corner to Monahan. He centers, and Lapierre right there, and he decides to ice the puck. And that'll bring a face-off with all those players who were on the ice remaining on here for this face-off.
You can always call a timeout. We'll see what they do.
The Penguins charity auction on Root Sports returns February 17th. You can help support the Mario Lemieux and Penguins Foundations by purchasing a Pens black and gold bag filled with unique memorabilia. Select black bags and all gold bags will include an autographed Penguins jersey. The charity auction on Root Sports starts February 17th at 6 o'clock.
Mike Johnson does call the timeout here. A couple of centermen on the ice. They were tired. Letang was out there for 2 minutes, and Marc-Andre Fleury made a couple of tremendous saves. Jiri Hoodler's was really the net front guy for most of that power play for Calgary. He's under 6 feet tall, and it was an easy battle, I thought, for Marc-Andre Fleury. He really worked to look around that screen, Staggy, and Rob Scuderi just left him alone, left Hoodler alone. That's what he's done. Very impressive. The Wallflower, 7 shutouts, leading the NHL in that category. Tommy Barrasso did it back in the late 90s. And look at, you mentioned his record after that shutout, what he does versus the Western Conference. He's 8-2-1 on the season. And Calgary has not been very good against the East. They're 7-11-2, 3-6-0 against the Metropolitan Division. Marc-Andre Fleury apparently getting the night off tomorrow. That's the word we get, Thomas Greiss, but you never know. These coaches, they can't change their mind.
Puck is cleared up the wall and back into the Flame zone, and Brody goes back to get it on an icing call against Pittsburgh. 2:13 to go.
So they still have Max Lapierre out here with Malkin and Adams. So this is a mishmash of players here.
And we want to remind you, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
You got to know your assignment here. If you lose the draw, the Penguins win it. The change is on the other side of the red line, and Adams is off, as is Lapierre.
Brody's lead pass, that doesn't get touched, and it's another icing call against the Flames. Tough night for the Calgary Flames. They haven't been able to get anything going against the Penguins. They did look pretty good on that last power play. They had some good looks.
Yeah, they moved the puck around well. That's one thing they do. And there's Letang, the left side of just below the mouth on the chin area. The bearded Chris Letang back on the ice for Pittsburgh.
Paul Martin sends it back to David Perron, who wrists it wide on purpose. It comes over to Crosby, who backhands it wide of the goal. Kunis to the corner for Perron, brings it up high and reverses it back into the corner for Crosby. Kunis goes to the front of the net. Sid banks it off the boards for Perron. Great puck control here by this line to the Penguins. Crosby over again to get on it first. Comes to Paul Martin. He finds Sid. Crosby turning away from the defender Brody. Goes to the right point to Letang. Great stick handling there to dump it back into the corner. But it sailed on him a bit up into the netting, and there'll be a face-off.
Sidney Crosby's got to every loose puck. He's just faster than anybody else on the ice. And to be fast, you have to know where the puck's going. Reaction, anticipation, and determination for 87 Crosby here tonight.
3-0 Penguins here in the second period, and we recently saw former Penguin Gary Roberts, who was in Pittsburgh for Mario Lemieux's fantasy hockey camp. Well, apparently he's been busy because the former Flame was here last week for the team's alumni night, which always brings out some good stories. One centered on Gary's first training camp here in Calgary, where he was only able to do 1.5 pull-ups. Fair to say that things have changed for Gary in the years since.
He could probably do about 500 pull-ups now.
Gary Roberts, he still has the Flames record. He scored in 8 consecutive games back in 92-93.
Homa with a chance coming out from behind the net. Fleury lost track of the puck for a moment.
Nice
Paul
stick.
Martin took a stick to the face. And now it'll be the Flames being penalized as David Jones got it up into the face of Paul Martin.
Yeah, you could sense the disgust on Jones's face. He doesn't want to put this Penguin power play, first power play on the Western trip for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They didn't get any in Edmonton. They get one here tonight. Is that right?
Calgary penalty number 19, 4 minutes.
Or did we get one earlier this
Yeah,
game?
we've already had one. Yeah,
We got one?
Remember the one without Letang on it?
Oh. All right, you're right. Second one. The high stick right there.
By the way, Crosby, Perron, and Kunitz each have 2 points. Perron scoring for Crosby and Kunitz at 5:46. The first, Crosby from Kunitz and Perron here in the second period at 11:58.
And this one's a 4-minute penalty. A double minor for high sticking. This be a little blood there, a little injury to Martin. They might be without him for this power play.
Now let's see what Letang can do at the right point as he moves it along for Crosby. Back to Chris Letang. Watch there by Boma. And also Stajan. Stajan to Boma. Boma to Stajan. And off the skate of Letang to Boma, trying to come to the goal. Letang recovers to take it away from him. And his pass for Crosby too far. Brody goes back forward into the flame zone. Hiller tried to play it to Brody, and all that did was cross up the signals there. And the Penguins end up with it, and it's Crosby with it now for Letang. Hornquist takes his spot in front of the goal. Crosby to Chris Letang. Malkin. Back to Letang, and he fakes the shot. Finds Gino. Now here's Crosby. Back to Chris Letang. Penguins aren't shooting. Trying to find that perfect chance to get it through. Perron comes popping out to take the pass, and then backhands it in behind the net for Hornquist and over for Crosby, but it's picked off by Giordano. He didn't get it out. Letang held it in. Crosby diving to keep it alive. Now Letang will. Brody backed up in the slot. Letang's shot is blocked. His time runs out here in the second period. And the Penguins just not able to get shots through or even looking to really take any shots there, Bob.
Yeah, he fanned on that one at the end, but he kept 2 pucks in at that blue line, just trying to do as good a job as he could. And he realized the clock was ticking down, so he didn't retreat the other way as the Penguins hold a commanding lead as we go to the third.
Let's go to Robin Jay.
This 3-game Western Canadian swing for the Penguins began with a 2-0 shutout of Edmonton on Wednesday night. The Pens up 3-0 against Calgary heading into the third tonight. If you're just joining us, here's what you missed, presented by your Western PA Honda dealers.
Defensive play there by Giordano. Now he tried to headman the pass. It's stolen. Shot, score! David Perron. Sutter won the draw against Monahan. Dupre threw it to the net. Steered in by Sutter. Second unit that had Hoodler and Monahan on it. Here's Crosby to the goal. He scores! Sidney Crosby steers it in on a beautiful setup by Chris Kunitz. This is a good hockey team they're playing, folks. Here's a lead pass coming to the net. Backhand shot. Fleury makes the save. One of the really good scoring opportunities, the few really, that the Calgary Flames have had here tonight against the Penguins, who put on a clinic, Bob. And they talked once they got here on the road about really wanting to establish their game again now that people are coming back into the lineup, getting that continuity, that role definition. You can see it in the way the Penguins are playing their game.
Can you ever? What a difference when Malkin's in the lineup and guys are healthy. I tell you, that's Sidney Crosby line. Crosby from yesterday when they called him a hero till today where he's been the best player on the ice. He's been on every puck quicker than anybody. That line there, the Crosby, Perron, Kunitz line has 8 shots. They've been relentless. And they're getting the puck up ice. They forced Giordano and company to play in their own zone. And it's just been that attack on the puck. And that one went off the crossbar for Crosby that has really set the tone for Pittsburgh. All 4 lines have been involved in this hockey game. And what's impressive, as you look at the updated points here right now, Crosby 55, and you see Malkin 52, Voracek with the 58. To me, you look at the stat sheet, the Penguins have 12 blocks. 12 block shots in this game. Where does the offense come from, Calgary? It comes from their blue line. And they've had 10 defensemen have had shots blocked. Giordano has had 5 of his shots blocked today. He's a -2. He's had 2 the 1 turnover for the first goal. Made a bad decision on the Crosby goal to come over on Kunitz, and they've really taken advantage of that matchup Pittsburgh has tonight.
The Winnipeg Jets have moved ahead of the Calgary Flames by 1 point in the standings in the Western Conference, so the Flames drop down into a wild card position. They gained that point in an overtime loss at home to the Chicago Blackhawks. So the Flames, who've been a great third period team, will have to do a lot of work to get back into this one. But they got a long way to go too with this power play here.
See that nose, the double minor, blood on the beak of Paul Martin there. And he's back to start the third period. He went down to get a little attention. It was a double minor, so there's 50 seconds left on the first one, and then they'll get another one.
David Jones in the box. He's the guilty party for the high-sticking Paul Martin. A UPMC Sports Medicine power play for the Penguins, and the power play wasn't looking too sharp at the end of the second period. Let's see if they can look a little sharper here to start the third. Malkin had to wander off his stick, and Brody takes it. He's looking up. Maybe the Flames will be trying to gun for a shorthanded goal here. David Perron carries the puck, throws it into the middle for Hornquist. The Flames have scored 3 shorthanded goals this year. Here's Hornquist with it to Letang, and Letang comes to center, looks left wing to Malkin. He's got some room. Hornquist driving down the slot. Dennis Wideman prevented Malkin from getting the puck through, but it comes around to Crosby. Crosby to Letang. Perron back to Letang, to Perron. Pulls the trigger, save made, and the rebound went the opposite direction that Hiller thought it was going in.
Anyway, between his legs, he was searching for it.
Here's Malkin taking it now. His shot, he just missed.
Yep.
On the glove side of Hiller, which is on that right hand catching goaltender.
Easy exit as the puck goes around the wall. We're into the second minor now.
Minute 37 to go on it. Paul Martin. Arcabello feeds it down the wall. Flames just turn it right back out to center.
Flames do have 3 shorthanded goals on the season, Staggy.
And Jura steals the puck behind the net, but Martin takes it right back. And he gives it to Derek Pouliot. Pouliot looks up, finds Arcabello. Quick pass over to Kunitz on the left wing, back for Pouliot. Kunitz hangs onto the puck, sends it down the wall. Pouliot for Arcabello. Now for Downey behind the goal. Arcabello to Kunitz. And over to Paul Martin. And pass for Pouliot doesn't connect. This power play continues to have difficulty getting in a position to shoot the puck. Just not pulling the trigger.
Yeah, you want to play off the shot. Just shoot the puck and have everybody react after that.
Here's Hornquist with it down the wing. He sends it back around and hits the referee. Crosby wheels it up top to Letang. 35 seconds to go on the penalty. Malkin pressured. Letang also pressured. Puck forced back by Staging. Letang dumps it to open space. Hornquist with it. Drops it back to David Perron. 21 seconds to go on the penalty. Here comes Malkin. And his pass is intercepted. The Penguins get people back to prevent the Flames from taking advantage of that. Malkin drops it off to Perron. Head down to Crosby. The pass doesn't connect. It's just one thing after another. It's just a kerfuffle on this power play, and we're down to 7 seconds to go on it.
Well, Calgary, more wins than anybody when trailing after 2 periods. They have 9 wins. There you see, 9-15-1. And trailing after 2 periods. Plus 32, that goal differential. That's not bad. And they're 7-2 when you get to the overtime. So they were looking for a little short-handed goal there, a little something to get them going here.
I think the key for them is to not be down by as many as they're down by. I mean, it's one thing to be good at coming back, but when you get yourself into a hole 3-0, a little bit tougher, especially against a team like Pittsburgh. Penguins didn't do themselves any favors, though, on that double minor power play. Here's Fleury freezing the puck, and it'll be a face-off to the right of the Penguins' goal. On the latest edition of Inside Penguins Hockey, find out what Gary Roberts would do as he's mic'd up during the Mario Lemieux fantasy camp. Watch Robert Bortuzzo mix it up, some of his favorite sweet treats, some milkshakes actually. Inside Penguins Hockey tomorrow at 9 on Root Sports. Scuderi banks it off the glass. Wideman ahead for Mason Raymond, but Spaulding got in the way of that. His pass to Downey goes off his stick. Downey on the puck against Backlund. Turns out of that check. Try to go to the point. Flames got a stick on it. The Penguins retreat to center. Dupre just lofts it back up into the Calgary zone. The Penguins able to change. Lead pass comes through to Pouliot. Now to LaPierre. Ran into traffic. This is Monahan shooting, and it hits Robert Bortuzzo. Monahan gets it back. Gaudreau went to the front of the net, kind of ran into Fleury, who gets back up. And now here's Gaudreau trying to steer it, and he steered it wide of the goal to the corner. Monahan battling against Zach Sill. Sill trying to win the physical battle, but Colburn has it to Monahan. Back for Colburn. Joe Colburn shoots it, and Fleury in perfect position. Makes the blocker save.
I think Fleury's looking for Gaudreau right now. Knocked the stick out of his hands. A little bit of a collision. He was injured down at that end that he's in, right? A high ankle sprain when nobody was around him. He doesn't want anybody around him right now, let alone Johnny Gaudreau.
This is Rafael Diaz. Flames change, as do the Penguins. Sidney Crosby comes on.
There's that stretch pass the Flames are trying to implement, but they have no support. When the puck comes up to that player on the wall, you have to have a player 5 feet from that guy so he can chip it to him. That's too easy for Pittsburgh. No ice here.
Martin to the puck. Pulls his man off. Crosby hustling over to the corner, one-handing the puck up the boards. Perron trying to get it out. Giordano pinched down. Letang takes the pass from Martin and ahead now to Kunitz. Crosby busting through. Here comes Crosby to the goal. He scores! What a beautiful finish by Sidney Crosby as he drills it in on the stick side of Hiller. And Crosby tonight coming with speed to the net with those glossy finishes. His second goal of the game makes it 4-0.
Well, I said he was soaring before. He's soaring again, and Giordano and Brody are wondering what they have to do. Well, what you have to do is you have to close that gap. You cannot let Sidney Crosby come flying through that neutral zone and just expect that he's not going to just split that seam. Look how he comes down low. He doesn't get interfered with in the neutral zone. That's the first issue. And that time right there, Giordano was way too wide. Sidney Crosby going through the middle of the ice. Giordano, the offside D. He's got to move over to the middle of that ice. But where teams are at their best, they try to interfere with Sidney Crosby. They're giving Hiller a break right now. None of this is his fault. He's 4-1, .940 save percentage coming into this game. There's no fault at all. It's 87. Let's leave it at that.
It's the first 2-goal game for Sid since that loss on Long Island. And we've got a goaltender change. So Jonas Hiller is done for the night after the Penguins get another one from Sid.
Kerry Ramos in the cage, and wow, you could tell right from the get-go that Sidney Crosby had something in mind here. And these fans have not been disappointed in Canada.
Well, not totally. The fans want the Flames to win and maybe Sidney to put on a show in the process, but you can't have it in everything, can you? They've gotten a nice performance from Sid as Dupre gets tangled up here.
Well, you want to mix it up. Dupre will mix it up with you. But I think it's been interesting. In the open, we focused Mark Giordano, Chris Letang, and Letang hasn't gotten the board. He got hit with a puck. Giordano's a -3 in the hockey game. And, quite honestly, has not looked good in this hockey game. He's had 5 shots blocked. I think 3 of the goals he's been on the ice with, he could have had an impact in those goals. And Sidney Crosby has really just tooled those guys. His speed, his determination has been unmatched, unparalleled for sure in this hockey game. So a really good job by the captain of the Penguins. And that Perron Kunitz, I'm going to tell you, Kunitz is looking healthy, looking good, and Perron has been good ever since he put on that Penguin jersey.
Only a couple points behind Voracek now. Crosby with 56 points in 48 games. Voracek with 58 points in 52 games entering action tonight. Flyers are idle, so Voracek will be back at it tomorrow night. Tomorrow, there's Bortuzzo shooting. That hit a skate. And it's lifted by the Flames back up into the Penguin zone, and Bortuzzo goes back to get it.
I love that. He did not go across his own net to Pouliot.
Backlund centers for Gaudreau. And a Fleury diving out. Makes an unbelievable save on the doorstep on Jiri Hudler.
What a save. Reached out with the glove hand. After the Penguins missed the exchange down below the goal line. A good forecheck by the Flames. Turns into an opportunity. Watch the glove. There it is. And Hudler didn't get all of it. Just as he went to shoot that puck, it was Hornquist, the forward, coming back and really preventing Hudler from shuffling in and into a wide open net, and the glove hand of Marc-Andre Fleury.
So the score remains 4-0, and centering pass for Gaudreau is picked off. And Malkin's got it, and he banks it ahead to center ice. Well, interestingly, in Edmonton the other night, it was the Malkin line that was getting all the opportunities. And tonight, it's the Crosby, Kunitz, Perron line that has done the damage for the Pens. And that's the way you like it when you got Malkin and Crosby both playing regularly. Here's Sutter. And of course, the third line of the Penguins also contributed to the goal by Sutter.
And the fourth line's been really strong in the game. So that's how you win hockey games, getting everybody involved, getting everybody into double-digit minutes, sharing the ice time.
Especially when you're playing the first of back-to-backs. The Penguins are playing Vancouver tomorrow night. Here goes Chris Letang now into the Flame zone. Backhands it to the goal, and Kari Ramo freezes the puck and holds on.
Well, we'll see if there's any fight left. Calgary's been home for a long time. This is the 6th of a 6-game homestand. And Sidney Crosby, he's spoiling the show. There's Gary Agnew talking to Crosby. You know, Crosby's really coming back and supporting the defense. And yesterday he was supporting, well, the Canadian kids.
That was an awesome story. And then, you know, obviously these guys get it. They know what Sidney means. There was a great quote, Bob. You read it today to me at lunch. I loved that. What the guy said in the article about Sidney Crosby. Maybe you can find that. I don't know what they'll be saying tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to be very happy, though, that he didn't disappoint in terms of the greatness. 8 goals in 8 games now against the Flames in Sid's career. Penguins working the puck down low, and Lapierre trying to get it in front. Back into the corner. Reversed into the corner for Sill by Adams. And the fourth line cycling the puck, trying to kill some time here as the Flames force it back to center.
Yeah, the gist of that quote today in the paper was there's just certain people in Canada that get it, that never disappoint, would never put themselves in a position to do that. And 87 being one of those. Talking about Jerome McGinley being another one, and Gretzky and Lemieux, those type of players, Staggy, that they just know how to conduct themselves at every turn.
They would never disappoint their franchise or their country, he said, which was great the way he put it.
Yep.
Now the pass to the right wing goes awry behind the net. Fleury stopped it there. Juris centered it. Now Perron gathers it in and hands it off to Sid to Kunitz. Kunitz will just dump it in softly, and the Penguins with a quick change again.
This is all you're going to see here. Get that red line, dump it in, change.
The Flames don't appear to have a lot of comeback in them tonight, although there's still a lot of time left. 11-12 to go. It's not easy to come back against a team like Pittsburgh because of the guy they have in the goal. There's a shot by Russell that's off a stick wide of the net and taken by Raymond. Raymond centers for Hoodler. Moves it back. Now Russell takes it to Wideman. Wideman telegraphed that pass, and Martin picks it off and moves it ahead to Arcabello. Malkin driving to the net. Arcabello trying to get him the puck. Arcabello again in the corner. Left it there for Gino. Malkin to Arcabello. There's 2 cycling and waiting for help here as Downey came off the bench to join it. Now Malkin leaves it there for Dupre. Nice little head fake to control the puck. And Dupre moves it along now for Downey. Malkin's open near side. Downey just dumps it off the boards to him. Malkin to the slot for Downey. Another interesting aspect of this trip in yesterday's practice at the corral was the presence of Thomas Pacina, the Penguins skills coach. Here's Spaulding with it now, cutting behind the net. On his backhand of the forehand, he centered it, went right through the goal mouth, and Sutter takes it, moves it back to Dupre. Now across for Downey, and he chopped it wide. Well, we'll get a piece of that or not. Here's a shot by Sutter, and that one sails off the target.
How about these plays by Simon Dupre? Head up, pass way wide for a shot off the net. Another play in the high cycle to Sutter there. I mean, it just seems to be coming here. With the more Simon Dupre plays, that confidence in a 4-0 game. I was watching him out there, Stag. You're talking about a guy that's at least 6'4". He's pretty nimble out there at the blue line, I got to tell you.
Here goes Robert Bortuzzo. Setting it up now from his own zone to the right wing, and Craig Adams. The Penguins just bring it methodically out of their own zone into the Flames end, but offside is called on Pittsburgh as they enter the Calgary zone.
Well, the Pittsburgh, they're not shooting it into shin pads tonight. They've got the head up. They're making plays away from the net, and it's all smiles here in Calgary. It's that time for a Subway sandwich of the game. Simon Dupre, Lance Boma, and there's Dupre. Ooh, Wow, that's a solid hit. Right in the chest. That didn't feel that good. Ladislav Smid was knocked out of action and a big hit by Dupre in the first meeting, December 12th, between these two teams. And still, he only came back for one game, Staggy, so he's a big guy.
Puck is dumped in by Adams. Back to get it goes Derek Engelland. He threw a few big hits in his career. Just knocked down Sill there. There's a shot by Pouliot this block. And here come the Flames. It's staging with Balling going to the net. Maybe you're going to see a little pushback here from the Flames all of a sudden. Get that feeling that maybe they want to get physical here. Just kind of see if they can extract something from the game. They're not a particularly physical team here, are they?
Well, they're not. You can see they're not highly penalized, but I'll tell you, they left a lot on the ice in the morning skate. I haven't seen a team skate that hard in the morning as I did this morning all year long, Stag. You know, they were jacked up for this game, and you know they talked about the coach joked about the Pope coming into town with all the attention, Malkin and Crosby coming here. I just think they left it too much on the ice this morning. I've never seen a team work that hard. And Mike Johnson, he called it optional, and a lot of these guys didn't skate. Crosby wasn't on the ice.
Well, he stayed out a long time yesterday. Here's Brodie shot wide of the goal with that skills coach we were talking about and the little kid.
Yep. A lot of guys took the morning skate off for Pittsburgh, and they saved it for the game.
Here's Hornquist now with Arcabello and Malkin. Hornquist trying to get it to the net. Brodie wouldn't let him do that. And it's taken by Letang. Dumps it rink wide, and it'll be handled there by Michael Backlund of the Flames. 7:50 to go. Mason Raymond into the Penguin zone. Looks left wing for Yuri Hudler. Back behind the net to Backlund. Centering pass off the stick of Fleury. Hudler can't handle it. Sutter goes the other way. Backlund back to get it. Joe Colburn trying to handle it, but Nick Spalling has it for Pittsburgh. Over to Letang. Ahead to Sutter, who dumps it in. Dupre with a lead pass, not there for Downey, and back again it goes Chris Russell. Russell just dished it off to the corner to Dennis Wideman. Now Colburn sends it back to Simon Dupre. One of the things that Pacina worked on a lot yesterday was deception. We had defensemen Pouliot and Harrington going back for the puck. And when they would turn with it along the boards, they would look up the boards like they were going to pass it that way and then pass it into the middle. And just using their eyes to deceive the oncoming forecheckers. The little kinds of things that he incorporates in his drills to help players. And he's been on this whole road trip because he's from Calgary.
You talking about it, looking the other way. Holy Mata. Oh, man. He mastered that.
Here's Stajan with a shot and a save made by Fleury. Pacina sitting right next to us here up in the booth.
There's the coach, Bob Hartley, of the Calgary Flames. And this is what he did say.
He's a humorous guy. One of the things he said is at the same time we can't get in the locker room, Crosby and Malkin make our players pretend that the Pope is in town because we're going to get caught watching. I don't know that they got caught watching tonight, but there's certainly quite sure that the Penguins put on a clinic that's worth watching for someone. Here's Byron shooting and a save made by Fleury.
Well, you look at the Flames, their defense. I mean, Giordano leads them with 43 points. And you wonder how they're getting it done. Well, they're getting it done by everybody just contributing enough, getting solid net minding, and being disciplined, not having to kill off a lot of penalties.
Yep, and they have 15 wins on home ice and 14 wins on the road. Conversely, they have 10 losses on home and on the road. So, you know, they're just grinding out wins. They're finding ways to get enough wins to be in the playoff race right now in the West. Here's Giordano with it. He gives it away to Kunitz, who looks up and finds Sidney Crosby again. Sid coming down the wing, looking for Kunitz, driving to the net, drops it instead to Perron. Perron looks for Letang, and Letang carries it in now on his backhand. He throws it back around to the right wing side for Bortuzzo. Crosby's after it again, but they chip it away from him up the wall. Perron takes his man out to get the puck. Good check there on Juris. And then Kunitz behind the net for Sid. Crosby once more. Out to Perona, drive, and a glove save made by Ramo, and a good one too.
Yeah, he saw it all the way. He popped out to make that glove save on Perron. Turnover at one end, and the Penguins still with 4. There's David Perron. He's been good, more than good. 8 goals as a Penguin to start the trip. He went to the net, 0.4 seconds left in the second. How about tonight to start things off for Pittsburgh? And then an assist, just chipping it up, and there goes Sidney Crosby. 60 multi-goal games for Crosby. The Flames have not lost by more than 3 goals this year. They're down by 4 in this one so far.
Sidney Crosby's second goal was assisted by Kunitz and Letang, so Letang getting a point here tonight.
Gives him 41.
Kunitz with a 3-point night. Hornquist from Malkin. And it's Johnny Gaudreau. Now to Dennis Wideman into the Penguin zone. Into the slot for Colburn, in front for Gaudreau. The pass too hard. And it went behind him. And that almost was a tap in for Johnny Gaudreau, but the pass just wasn't there for him. Monahan on the ice. Gaudreau heads off. Monahan also going to the bench. Flames send fresh troops on. Ooh, they almost had a man behind the defense, Brandon Bullock. Letang goes back to get it with 4:31 to go in the hockey game. Long shot by Adams is gloved down by Ramo.
Take a look at the race in the West, Daggy, as the Winnipeg Jets got 1 point in overtime tonight against the Blackhawks in a loss, and that's where it stands right there. They jumped ahead of Calgary with that 1 point. Puts Calgary into that first wild card position. And look who's coming, Minnesota and Colorado.
Penguins and Islanders have each played 51 games. The Penguins are now playing their 52nd game, so the Islanders would have a game in hand. The Penguins would move ahead of them with 68 points in first place in the Metropolitan Division with this win here tonight. Still 4:05 to go in the game, and a shot by Bollig misses the goal. Bortuzzo has it now. And Robert Bortuzzo patiently moves the puck to Max Lapierre. Back to Bortuzzo and across to Scuderi. The Penguins will be very happy, I think, with the way that their game was constructed tonight. A very structured type of performance. And as you said, everybody getting involved. Letang back to the puck. This is how they want their game to look, I think.
It really helps when you get Malkin back in the middle.
Sutter for Spalling to Downey. Downey to the goal. Downey centers off the leg of Sutter to Letang. A shot and a save made by Ramo.
Oh, patience for Downey. Sees a man go in front of him. Kind of curls and drags it around him a little bit. I thought he was going to swoop it all the way around the net.
Letang pokes it to the corner for Kunitz. Russell back to the puck. This is Wideman into the zone. Now it's Perron with it. Dancing in behind his own net. Controlling the puck. Stripped away though, and a turning shot by Juris. And now Juris, another shot, and a great save by Fleury with the right pad on Josh Juris. He was wide open. Point blank range. Phenomenal save. Here's Giordano shooting again, and Fleury makes the save.
I don't know how he stopped that one. The right pad, was it there? Look out, here comes Crosby looking for the hats.
Brody is the only man back. Crosby shoots, and a blocker save made. And then Giordano cut in front of Kunitz to prevent him from getting the rebound. Giordano goes the other way to the Penguin zone. Giordano on one leg, centers it. And Crosby just chips it back out to center. We get a whistle and a hooking penalty coming up here.
Yeah, Giordano looking like a ballerina there. He had one leg up, and that was because the stick of Perron was in the other skate. Sidney Crosby blocking another shot at the blue line. He just didn't have enough steam to take it the other way, and the Penguins and Marc-Andre Fleury are just going to have to get it done here. Watch the right pad. Hello. Missing a rebound opportunity, then a second crack. Very fortunate there for Pittsburgh, and 2:13 left on the clock. Perron in the box.
Calgary's 0 for 3 on the power play. They have 6 total shots with their man advantages. They got 3 shots on their last power play, and now Scuderi able to clear it off the face-off into the Calgary zone. So the Penguins have some penalty killing to do to protect this score. It's 4-0 Pittsburgh. Here's the Mason Raymond. And he'll swing to the right wing. Kudler goes to the front of the net. Backlund's in the slot. Giordano and Diaz at the points. Mason Raymond controls it on the right wing boards. Out now to Diaz, to Giordano, to Raymond. Backlund in the slot, and the pass for Diaz is poked away by Sutter. There's Giordano with it now. The tank stumbles. Giordano pressuring him. Kudler to Giordano. Out in front now for Raymond. Good read by LaPierre, but it comes through to Diaz drifting. Diaz to Backlund. And now for Giordano. He's centered. He looked for a redirect by Kudler, but it goes all the way through to Raymond. Mason Raymond into the corner to Backlund. Kudler's in front of the net, presenting his stick. Centering pass for him. And the loose puck pinballing around. Finally, it's Adams who coolly spins it out to the blue line, but Giordano holds it in. And a shot by Raymond and gloved by Fleury. And he has it in that big claw.
Great stuff, Marc-Andre Fleury, and great help from the guys in front of him. There's where Pittsburgh currently stands without the two. And with the win tonight, they are going to leapfrog New York Islanders there and be on top of the Metropolitan. And you see the wild card race on the other side with Florida creeping up. There's a broken stick, and he just played the puck, with his skate. Maybe not. Could have been a penalty easily there on the Flame forward. I thought he might have tried to play that puck with his skate, even though he had a broken stick. He was holding that in his hand, Stay. If you play it with your skate, you're deemed to have played a puck while having a broken stick.
Here's Gaudreau into the Penguin zone. Johnny Hockey, as he's called. His agent has filed for a copyright of that nickname, so he can merchandise it. Here's Monahan into the Penguin zone. We're down to 25 seconds in this game, 10 of which now remain on the penalty to David Perron. The Penguins leading 4-0. Paul Martin with a puck, 6 seconds to go. Penalty's over. Penguins get it to center. LaPierre, one man back. It's Derek Engelland. LaPierre into the Flame zone, trying to get around Engelland, and time runs out. And Marc-Andre Fleury now holds the record for the Pittsburgh Penguins for shutouts in a single season. His 8th of the year, breaking the previous record that was held by Tom Barrasso. And it's the 2nd time this year that he's had consecutive shutouts. And the Pittsburgh Penguins have not allowed a goal yet here in Western Canada.
130-140 is the shutout streak. Currently, last goal he allowed was 8:20 the third, a Fisher power play goal, and Marc-Andre Fleury, he was unconscious in that third period of play. I tell you, pucks were hitting him in the pads, in the glove, and that man beside him, Sidney Crosby, had a pretty good game himself.
Yes, he did. It was a very entertaining night from a Penguin perspective. I'm sure the Calgary Flames fans are somewhat disappointed, but at least they did see Sid deliver a pretty darn good performance here tonight in Calgary. Let's go to Robin Jay.
Staggy Bob, thanks very much. That puts a pretty nice wrap on it. Really, you're looking at two of the Penguins' biggest stars, Sidney Crosby and Marc-Andre Fleury, having terrific games.
Yeah, it was a great game. Look, a great way to start their West Coast swing. I thought from the first shift of the game, Evgeny Malkin had a great shift to start the game. And you knew right off the bat, then Crosby follows it up. And from the beginning of this game, he was flying. And it's only a matter of time. I know you're talking about, look where his point total is. He hasn't been having, the puck hasn't been going in the net. He's getting opportunities here. And they're going to start to go, and they did tonight. So it was a great effort. And then for Fleury, again, one more shutout again. Great goaltending and a great team effort in front of him.
Yeah, we'll talk plenty about Crosby. We had a 3-point night tonight. But first, as we promised earlier, it's Miller time, presented by Miller Lite, and it is Marc-Andre Fleury, his 8th shutout. Of course, a career high for him. Also career high, season high for any Penguin goaltender. Tom Barrasso had 7. Fleury came into tonight's game with 7. Back-to-back road shutouts for Marc-Andre Fleury. He had back-to-back shutouts earlier this season, but both those games at home against L.A. and Buffalo. And now, back-to-back shutouts on the road for the Penguins to begin this Western swing. Miller time, presented by Miller Lite. So the Penguins win by the final score of 4-0. They start out this 3-game swing with 2 victories. Coming up next on Penguins Postgame, we'll have extended highlights of this game. Postgame reaction, Jay will illustrate for you highlights from around the league, and I look forward to the game coming up tomorrow night against Vancouver. All that and more coming up next on Penguins Postgame.